Hello lovely people, my name is Nicole and today I have a book haul for you guys. This is my January book haul. Every month I really hope that I can go into a book haul being like, I didn't buy that many books this month. No. I mean, I haven't bought many books like since I've been back at school. I've only had a few like new releases that I was really excited for shipped to me, but before I went back to school was clearly more than I thought it was. So I have a lot of books to show you. So we're just gonna jump right in. So the first book I have is Dead Girl Society by Michelle Chris. And this is about a girl with cystic fibrosis who gets involved in this like secret society. And from what I can tell, it seems like the society is a group of teenage girls who all have fatal illnesses. And they're all doing these crazy dares and like insane stunts in order to win money. And I think the money is ideally supposed to like pay for treatment or something. I'm not really quite clear on the details, but it sounds like it's going to be really interesting. Then I got Under Rose Tainted Skies by Louise Gournall, and this is about a girl with agoraphobia, and one day this cute boy arrives on her doorstep and they start to sort of fall for each other, but she keeps thinking that, you know, he deserves someone who can leave the house with him and go out and do things with him, like he deserves better, while he's trying to convince her that he doesn't want anyone else. He doesn't need someone who goes out and does a bunch of crazy stuff with him. That's really all the description gives plot-wise. I'm sure there's some other stuff going on, but a lot of people who I really like and tend to agree with reading-wise have been reading this and seem to be really liking it. And also this cover is gorgeous. So I'm very excited to pick this one up. Then I got Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson, and this is one that I've been meaning to pick up for a while. Pretty much ever since it got the National Book Award, I've been hearing about it and wanting to pick it up. And this is about a little girl growing up in the sort of civil rights movement, sort of from the 60s and 70s era. And she spent her childhood in both South Carolina and in Brooklyn. In South Carolina, she has a lot of issues with the other kids making fun of her for being black, and in Brooklyn she's struggling with being accepted because she's a Jehovah's Witness. I don't actually know all that much about the plot of this book beyond that, but I've heard absolutely incredible things about the writing. Then I got Take the Key and Lock Her Up by Allie Carter, and this is the third book in the Embassy Row series. I really liked the previous two books. Basically this series is about a girl who's pretty much her entire family is very political. Her parents died a little while ago and now she's going to live with her grandfather, who is the ambassador to this fictional European country, and she gets sort of caught up in all the government conspiracies and sneaky secret organizations and murder and all that stuff. This is the third book in the series. I think it picks up like a couple weeks after the previous book left off, and I'm definitely excited to read this. I feel like I might need to skim the previous book just to sort of remember where we are in the story, but I do really like Allie Carter's books. They're a lot of fun, nothing too intense or serious, but they're just always an adventure to read and a lot of fun to read. Then I got Bonefaro by Xana Frelian, and this is about a little boy who lives in Australia. His mother and sister are refugees. He was born in Australia, but he was born in a permanent detention center where his family lives. So that's where he was born, that's where he grew up, that's really sort of all he knows. But then one day he meets a girl through the fence and they start to sort of become friends, and she starts telling him about her family and her world. Refugees aren't a topic I've read a lot about. I've read one or two books that touch on the subject, but it'll be really interesting to read something that's, first of all, not set in America, and second of all, that's sort of a kid's middle grade book on the topic, and see how it's sort of approached from a different viewpoint. Then I got Roseblood by A.G. Howard, and this is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. It's about this girl with this incredible singing voice, but every time she sings, she is left just completely drained and exhausted. So her mom sends her to this world-renowned music school. While she's there, there's this mysterious sort of phantom kind of person wandering around the grounds, and then there's also this guy who befriends her and seems to kind of cure her issue. I don't know the specifics, but it sounds like it's gonna be really cool, and I haven't read or seen the original Phantom of the Opera, but this is making me think that I should get on that because this sounds awesome. Then I got Love and Foresight by Josh Sundquist, and this is about a teenage boy who is blind. He was born blind, he's never been able to see, and a couple of his friends get him together with this girl. They fall for each other, they start to date, and then the boy gets a procedure that will allow him to see, and once he can see, he realizes this girl doesn't really fit the traditional standards of beauty. I don't really know what that means, but I've read Josh Sundquist's previous book, which was non-fiction, that's We Should Hang Out Sometime, and I really liked that. And I've been watching his videos for a while. I think he's funny and clever and smart, and while I'm a little apprehensive about the fact that it's someone who is not vision impaired writing this, based on his videos and the kind of content he likes to talk about and produce, I would assume that he's done a lot of research, talked to a lot of people, and really been thorough about making sure he represents it well and accurately. So I think that this will be a really interesting one to read. I'm excited but also a little apprehensive to read it just because the not meeting traditional standards of beauty thing makes me a little nervous, but we'll see. Then I got Queer, a graphic history, and this is a graphic history of queer theory. It's a little bit more than a history. It also has some discussions of some of the major theorists, some of the major ideas, criticisms, and then sort of a look at where queer theory is going next. But it's all illustrated. It's by Meg John Barker. I talked about it in my wrap-up. I've already read it. Really, really good if anyone's looking to get into queer theory. Then I got Boyfriends with Girlfriends by Alex Sanchez. And I haven't read all of it. I read the first like 30 pages and then DNF'd it. There's a review on Goodreads as to why I DNF'd it. Basically, it's about these 4 teenagers, one of whom is a gay boy who's never actually dated anyone before, one of whom is a bisexual boy who's only ever dated girls before, and they sort of have a thing. One of them is the straight best friend of the gay boy, and one of them is the lesbian best friend of the bi boy who falls for the straight girl, who might not be so straight. I had a lot of issues with this. This is not a wrap-up, so I'm not going to go into detail. I filmed my wrap-up before I tried reading this, so this will be on my next month's wrap-up, but I will leave a link to my full review as to why it only took 20 pages for me to want to throw this across the room that'll be in the doobly-doo. Then I got Set the Shotgun to the Head by Saul Williams, and obviously I have already read this, so I talked about it in my wrap-up. Again, link in the doobly-doo. But this is a poem. I never really know how to describe poetry books. This whole thing is one poem, and it's all formatted as a love poem, but it touches on a lot of different topics of patriarchy and gun violence and war and religion and pretty much just everything. It's all in sort of a kind of a, each page to page is like differently formatted. So I don't know how to describe poems, but it's a poem and y'all should read it. Then I got Stuff I've Been Feeling Lately by Viola Cook, and this is a book of poetry. And again, I don't really know how to describe poems. I know that this one is sort of based around music a little bit, not so much in the topics and like the content of the poetry, but more in just the format, the inspirations. Each poem has a what I'm listening to right now at the end of it, which I think is really, really interesting. From what I know about this, it seems to be in the same vein as sort of a Amanda Lovelace kind of poetry, so it looks like it's gonna be really good. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm excited. Then I got History's All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, and this book is so beautiful and wonderful. Basically, it's about a teenage boy whose ex-boyfriend just died, and it's flashing back and forth timelines to him mourning his ex and sort of mourning alongside his ex's boyfriend at the time of his death, and then also seeing their original relationship. And it's Adam Silvera, and it's amazing, and of course I've already read it. I read it like the second I got it in the mail, so I talked about it in my wrap-up, but basically it's amazing and tear-jerking, and everyone should read it because Adam Silvera. Then I got By Your Side by Casey West. I literally like just got this yesterday because it came out on the 31st, and this is a fluffy, adorable contemporary. Yes, I've already read it. It'll be in next month's wrap up because filming timelines are weird. But basically this is about a girl who gets locked in a library over the weekend, and she's freaking out, worried that her friends won't know where she is because they were supposed to go up to a cabin together, worried that her parents won't know where she is and will just assume that she's with her friends. And then she learns that there is a boy in there with her, a cute bad boy in there with her, and they spend the weekend together and they fall in love, and it's beautiful because it's Casey West. Casey West books are just always fluffy and adorable and romantic, and I just love them. I love all of them. They just make me so happy. They're the perfect kind of book to read if you just need something to make you smile and giggle and just believe in love. So I've already read this, like I said. Talk about it next month. There's a review on Goodreads if you can't wait till next month, but you know. Alright, so those are all the books I got this month. Let me know which one I should read next in the comments. A couple of them I am saving for the Fempower-thon, so we'll wait until March for that. I'll be making a big announcement video about what the Fempower-thon is in a couple weeks, but for now, if you're interested, I'll leave a link to the Twitter in the doobly-doo. Basically, elevator pitch, feminist readathon. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the 3rd full week in March. Again, more info at the Twitter, and then I'll make a video about it later. Anyway, let me know which book I should read it next in the comments, or if you've read any of these and think that they're amazing or awful, etc., etc. Let me know. I love you, and I will see you later. Bye!